Sarah Baartman, a woman born in the 18th century in the land we now know as South Africa, endured one of the most tragic and shameful chapters in human history. But in her suffering, Sarah became an enduring symbol of resilience. Today, we remember her as a hero, a symbol of dignity and a crucial figure in the fight for equality and human rights. Sarah Baartman was born around 1789 in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, into the Khoikhoi community. Her people, the Khoikhoi, were indigenous to southern Africa long before European settlers arrived. She had a relatively peaceful early life, but things would soon change. In the late 18th century, as European colonization expanded, her fate took a dark turn. In 1810, Sarah was tricked by a British ship captain named William Dunlop, who promised to bring her to Europe for a better life. She was paraded in front of crowds, exhibited as a freak because of her physical features, particularly her unusually large hips and posterior. She was objectified and humiliated, labeled as a Hottentot Venus, a derogatory name reflecting both her ethnicity and the sexualized nature of her exploitation. Sarah was displayed in public exhibits across London and Paris, where she was subjected to mockery and scientific curiosity. Her body was viewed as something exotic, and people flocked to see her as if she were a sideshow attraction. She was treated like an animal, poked and prodded by scientists who studied her physicality. She was forced to endure humiliation in exchange for money that she would never see. After several years of exploitation, Sarah died in 1815 at the young age of 26. Her body was dissected, and her remains were put on display in a museum in Paris. Only after her death did the world begin to realize the brutality of her treatment. In 2002, after decades of campaigning by the South African government and human rights activists, Sarah's remains were finally returned to South Africa and laid to rest with dignity. While Sarah Baartman's life was filled with suffering, she has become a symbol of resilience and dignity. Her story represents the harsh reality of colonial exploitation but also stands as a testament to the strength of African women and their fight for equality. Today, Sarah is remembered as a hero who, even in death, sparked a global conversation about racism, sexism, and human dignity. Sarah Baartman may have been a victim of one of history's greatest injustices, but her legacy lives on. Her name now represents the struggle for human rights and the enduring fight against exploitation and objectification. As we remember her, let us also remember the countless other African women and men whose stories have yet to be told.